Good day, I'm Nisa Mudli. This is Asset TV at the GEPF 2023 Annual Thought Leadership Conference. I'm joined by Himanshi Jain, Senior Social Protection Specialist at the World Bank. Welcome, Himanshi.
Thank you for having me.
Can we chat about South Africa's challenges when it comes to social protection and the pension landscape, specifically relative to the rest of the world?
Thanks for that question. So let me first start by saying why we're looking at pensions in the context of social protection. Social protection programs and policies essentially aim to build, employ, and develop human capital, and you want to do that across the life cycle. What we call sort of support resilience from cradle to grave. And pensions is a big part of it because they help individuals prepare for old age, and there's disability and survivor payments associated with pension systems as well. So typically pension systems have three main goals. You want to be able to protect people from poverty in old age. You want to be able to give them longevity insurance, because some people live until say 90, some until 70 and don't even have savings enough for those longer years. And you want to be able to smooth consumption. Now, in South Africa, the old age grant program is actually one of those, social pension programs that have very high coverage, and they do a really good job of poverty protection and longevity insurance, because they are given to people above the age of 60. There's a means test provided, and about 70% of elderly in South Africa currently qualify for that pension. However, the one piece of that's missing in South Africa is consumption smoothing, which essentially means having income replaced in old age commensurate to what you had in your working life. And for that, a lot of countries have mandated schemes, because mandates are what help people deal with myopic tendencies to not save for their future. So relative to, if you look at these three objectives, I would say South Africa does a really good job on those two, but they're now, with the new legislation that's coming up, there's more focus being given to consumption smoothing aspects.
And in terms of that social inequality, in South Africa, we've got a huge informal sector, and we haven't even started addressing how pension regulation or how we can provide for that population in retirement. How are other geographies addressing that?
That's a great question. And let me tell you, this time in pension policy, coverage is very much the center stage of what a lot of governments are thinking about. Because what we have seen is, since the 90s, even though countries have grown, pension coverage hasn't necessarily kept up. Because this idea that, the way the Western economies, formal employment grew in those countries and pension coverage followed, hasn't really happened in a lot of the emerging markets and developing countries. So this question is a puzzle for a lot of policymakers. However, there's some emerging evidence that there are ways to tackle this. So, for example, countries are offering fiscal matching contributions and subsidies to the poorest individuals to get them to save into pension schemes. There's a lot of behavioral economics being put into play here, things like auto-enrollment, offering digital packages that are easy to understand, and bundling products so that you're offering them a mix of short and long term, because to be honest, informal sector workers have different needs than the formal sector. So really the goal here is to try and come up with schemes and systems that make it easy for informal sector workers to save.
So we're looking at innovative solutions emerging. There's light on the horizon.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Himanshi. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much for having me.